Yes, sir.
Okay, so last time we had discussed about 4B exercise. So today we'll 4A exercise. Today we'll start with 4B and we'll complete with exercise 5 also. So there are only few topics related to 4B exercise. So we'll discuss that. I think so AutoCAD screen is visible to you, right? Now we have to perform the 5 steps. So I already performed the 5 steps. Open the new file, then units, limits, zoom all and save file. So that you don't forget to perform these 5 steps. Now next is text. So suppose if I draw a rectangle of 50 by 30 mm size. Okay. Now if I want to write down some text on the drawing, so text is always required to be written. So you know the text style. So there are two commands for this. One is dtext, dynamic text. So that we'll learn first. So let us discuss dtext first, and then we come to the next command. That is next type of text. So dtext, and then press enter key. So it will ask to specify the start point of the text. So I'll specify the start point. Then it is asking to specify the height. Suppose if I say height is 10 mm, so units is in mm. So when I write 10, so it will take the 10 height. And third is specify rotation angle of the text. That is what is asked in the command line window. So rotation angle is 0 means horizontal. If I write 90 degree, it will be in vertical direction and so on. So default value is 0 written in the angle bracket. So I will press enter key. Now write down the text, right? So if I write down Nirma and university, okay, and then click anywhere on the screen, so text will be written, and press enter key. So the text is written. Is it clear to everybody? Yes or no? Just answer.
Yes, sir.
Now one thing, that if I select the text, only one text is selected, a blue group will be seen, and if I move this text, I can move this text, but only one line at a time will be moved. If I want to move the second line, then I have to select the second text. So each, of course, you have written Nirma University together when we are typing during the dtext command, but each line is treated as individual, and then there is no formatting that is associated with it. So the problem is there is no formatting and each line is treated as individual. Okay, so dynamic text has limited functionality. So we'll discuss next type of text, that is M text. M text means multi-line text. You type M text on the command line window and press enter key. So it will ask to enter the first. So I'll enter this first point. Specify the opposite corner or justify. So I'll go to the options in the command line window. Height, you can adjust the height of the text. So specify height 10, you can decrease it to 5. Then justify. So there are 9 options: TL, TC, TR, ML, MC, MR, PL, BC, BR. So what it means, TL means top left, TC means top center, and TR means top right. Similarly, ML middle left, middle center, middle right, and PL means bottom left, bottom center, bottom right. So let us select bottom right to just see opposite. Specify the opposite corner, or let me take this rectangle for reference. M text. Specify the first corner. So this is the first corner. Height. You specify height. So height specified is 5. Justify. The bottom right I will justify, and opposite corner I will specify. Now see, if I write down Nirma University, it is writing from bottom and right side. And going in topward direction. So this is how you can create a M text, and there is some formatting style. And the second thing, when I select the text, I can move the text wherever I want. The whole text, multi-line text will be moved. If I increase the height, I can increase the box size, or I can increase in this side, and so on. Is it clear to everybody? Please answer yes or no. You can reply.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Good. So if you have any questions or any difficulty, please ask, because I will not be able to see you all like regular lab done. So please ask the questions if you find any difficulty. So this was, and last thing, that is drawing tables. So tables are required to be drawn. So for this you have to use the command table, TABLE, table. Press enter key. A dialog box will open. On the left side you don't do anything. On the right side you can specify column and column height. Suppose I can specify 50 units. Width, data rows, I can specify 5. Row height, I can specify 1 line. Then see on the left side, black color table preview is given. So first is title. So first row you can change it to title or header, or you can change it to data, whatever you want. Generally it is title, so keep it title. Second is generally header. You can change it anywhere. And third row onwards, everything is data. So it will look something like this, right? So this is the preview that you can see. Then press OK. A table is created. It will move along with the mouse. You can click anywhere to place the table. Okay, now you can write down the type for title, Nirma University. Then you can double click on the particular cell. You can write down roll number. Then tab key. You can write down, in the next case, marks. And then you can zoom in and zoom out. Roll number 1. And tab marks is supposed to be 29, and so on. So you can write down things in the table. Select that particular table, whole table. See what you can do with this. Catch hold of it and you can move it. You can increase the size, but then it goes to the next row because the size is limited. You can increase and decrease the column width. That's okay. Increase the, decrease the column. You can increase the row. Press this triangle. So the limited length and width is given, so you can change that. You can change the width of the cells also. Okay, so not much required to be done as far as table is concerned. You have to draw a small exercise. So I'll show you what has been discussed. So adding text, D text, M text, we have discussed. Text style, that's okay. Annotation scale will not discuss. Creating tables, that's what we have discussed. And you have to draw this figure, where you can take the size of the object any size as per the table, convenient size, and you can draw a table and you can create a work. Is it okay to all of you? Yes or no? Please informed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let us move on to the next exercise. Don't do this additional problem. Okay, please leave that additional problem. Just a minute, I'll allow the students to come in. Okay, so now let me share the screen again. Okay. Now come to next exercise 5. So there are 5, 5B, 5C. In this 5, there are only two commands, array and h. So very simple commands are there. Let us discuss this array. Array first, and then we'll discuss the h. Okay. Now next, I want to draw the array. So let me draw a circle, or let me write this also. This is not required. Suppose if I draw an object, something like this. Line. I'm drawing a complex object so that just to make you understand the concepts. Suppose I have created this object, right? Now I want to create multiple copies of this object in row and column fashion. Okay, so I want to write down array. So array is of two types, A double R, A Y. You type on this. Select the objects. So I will select this line, and this line, everything. Press enter key. Now which type of array? So first we'll discuss rectangular array. So select rectangular array or press enter key by default. So automatically a group of array in row and column wise will be arranged. Okay. Now using the blue grips on the right side, you can decrease and increase the quantity in number of columns. And then in number of rows, I can increase and decrease number of columns. Here I can increase and decrease the space by second triangle. Here I can increase and decrease the space between the columns. Okay. And here I can increase both sides. Okay. And here, if I get the left lowermost blue box, I can move the array. The original object will be remaining, but the array will be created. Okay. And then in that brick, Command line window, you can see base point count, number of counts, 10, 15, spacing between this, you can specify distance between them. It is currently 88.5, I can space it to 150. Okay, 100, row wise and column wise, it is asking. Number of columns, number of rows, that is what you can select, or through blue grips also you can select. That's how you can create an array of objects. Is it clear? And another important thing is, that's it. Now, another important thing is when you create an array, something like this, if I select a particular array, all of the arrays will be selected together because all the objects will be considered as a single object. Okay, is it clear? Yes or no? Is it okay? Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, another important information is circular array. Let me rub this. Let me create a circle. Let me move this object onto one of the points of the circle. Let me select object, window. Then could be just where the base point and select this. Suppose I have created an object. Now I want to create the objects in round fashion. I can use array instead of rectangle, round fashion. Array, select the objects. I will select this line, and this line. Press enter key. Rectangular path or polar, I will select polar. Okay, now it is asking to center point of arrow. So this is center. So automatically this array of objects will be created, right? Now I can move this anywhere with the center point. I can grab this and I can rotate it. I can grab this and can increase and decrease. Okay, that's how you can do. Now, other thing is items, number of items I can increase to 12. If angles between them is now particularly 30, you can decrease to 15, so it can come to one side. Suppose 30 again I can make. And that's it. And then I can rotate as we have seen in the last time. That's it. Is it clear about this array? Yes or no? Is it okay? If anyone can answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me show you the another command in this hatch command. So let me draw an object. Okay. Suppose this is the object and I want to draw the hatch line pattern over here. Hatch means section lines that you draw in the object. So write down H. When I write down H, on the top of this, you can see the menu has changed in the ribbon portion on the top, where mouse cursor is now moving. That is being changed. So what has been asked in the command line, pick the internal point or select the object. So if I select this, pick this internal point, then this hatch pattern will be created without this circle, right? And you can change this to different angle by clicking on the icon on the top of the screen, right? And then you can go to the right side and you can change the distance between the two lines and increase, and you can change the angle also. 0 means 45 degree, you can change to any angle, right? So very simple hatch command you can use. Okay, so that's all. This is all about the exercise 2. Now let me bring in, so we have learned array and hatch. These are the only two portions that we will discuss. So you have to draw this figure, top front view and top view, using the array and hatch, because both circular array and rectangular array is given. Now come to 5B exercise. You have any questions or doubt in 5A exercise where two commands are discussed, hatch and array? Any questions or doubt? Otherwise I can move. If
Sir.
anyone, yes?
No, sir.
Okay. So we'll go to the next command. 5B exercise, that is arc, polylines and polygons. So three things we have to learn. Arc is a command which you can draw part of a circle, but by different methods I can draw the circle. Let me draw. Zoom all. Draw the rectangle. Red, 200, 150. Okay. So this is rectangle that I have drawn. Now let me draw the arc, or let me draw the line. Line. Pick the point, any point. Open the line at the rate 100, 0. So I'll draw a line. Okay, now with reference to this line, I will draw the arc. So here there is arc command. Here you can see in the top arc command, you can type IARC. There are various options given, 3 points. So you can use any 3 points. So let us discuss this. Suppose with reference to line I'm drawing, so that you can come to know how the arc is drawn. So this is first point, this is second point, this is third point, because any 3 points are required to define the curvature and 2 points are required to define a line. So this is 3 point. Then we'll discuss start, center, end. This is the start point. This is the center point. Somewhere on this. Just a minute, I'll check whether OSNAP is on or not. Just a minute. Oh yeah, OSNAP is not on. I'll select all. That's okay. Start, center, end. So this is start point. This is center point, and suppose this is the end point. Automatically end point will be taken. So this is a semicircle that will be drawn. Next option is start, center, end. We have done. Now start, center, angle. So this is the suppose start point. Center point I can know this center point, and angle, included angle. I can include, if I include 45 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, accordingly the length of the arc can be calculated, right? Suppose I enter 270 degrees, so it will create 3/4 of a circle. Okay, So that is included angle in this. Then we'll draw start, center, and length. So start, center, and length. Okay, so let us discuss this. This is start. This is center, and the length of the chord 100 mm. So that is a semicircle. So that is how you can draw. Similarly, start and angle, start and here start, center, and here it is start and angle, start and direction. So that is different. Start and direction. If I change the angle, direction, accordingly it will draw. If I keep 90 degree, it will draw semicircle. So angle is 90 degree, it will draw a semicircle. Okay. So that is start, center, direction, start and radius. That's okay. Center, start, and center, start angle, center, start length. So they are same. Okay, so you can try different options for the arc. You will be able to draw it. So this is arc. Next is polygon. So let me draw a circle. Suppose 100 mm radius. Okay. Now, if I want to draw the polygon, do you know what is a polygon? If anyone can answer. What is polygon? Yes, if anyone can answer. You have drawn pentagon, hexagon, square, triangle. Right, so these are all known as polygons. How you draw the polygon? You draw the first edge of the polygon and then draw the remaining edges for pentagon, hexagon, or octagon, or any other shape. So either you can go here in the icon on the near to the rectangle, you can click on the icon and there is a polygon, or you can type polygon over here. Okay, so I type polygon over here. So first it will ask for number of sides, so I will enter suppose 6. Now specify the first center point. So if I specify the first center point, or okay, I have to enter the option inscribed, circumscribed in the circle. Again, sorry. Polygon, number of edge 6. Specify the center of polygon and edge. I will select the edge. Now specify first endpoint. So this is first endpoint, and accordingly, if second, this edge, or here, accordingly it will draw the polygon. Okay. Next option is polygon, number of sides 6. Now specify center of polygon, this circle. Inscribed in a circle or circumscribed. So inscribed. So I can draw a polygon inscribed in circle like this. Inside the circle, inscribed in circle. Polygon, number of sides suppose 5. Circumscribed in the center of the polygon. Circumscribed in the circle, and then circumscribed in the circle. I can draw like this. Right, so easier method to draw the polygon. Only then once you start drawing a polygon, first you have to select the number of sides, suppose 6, and then specify if you want to draw with reference to circle, you have to specify center point of circle, or you draw with the reference to edge, because generally you draw with reference to edge only, so you can select the edge. That is what you have to take care when you draw the polygon. Okay. Any questions or doubt up till now?
No, sir.
So we learn arc, polyline. We will not learn ellipse, polygons. That's what we have learned, and we have learned these things. You can draw this figure now. And lastly, we'll learn the 5C parametric. This is the figure you have to draw for parametric, right? Not this figure you have to draw for parametric. Now let me discuss parametric. Just a minute, give me a moment. Okay, so parametric means what? So let me draw some objects first. I have drawn some objects, right? Now, what is parametric? So you go to the topmost menu where home is there, insert is there, annotate is there, and parametric is there. So parametric, go to parametric tab. You will get this ribbon menu. Now there are two types of parametric constraints: geometric constraints and dimensional constraints. Constraints means what? Constraints means constraints on relationship, means relationship will not change whatever length or size you change of the object, but relationship will not change between the two objects. So it is relationship among the objects. I'll explain you what. So first let us discuss geometric relationship or geometric constraints. So you can see over here, first constraint is coincident on the geometric tab. Auto constraint you forget now. uh, Coincident is the first step. So coincident means what? Select what is asked, select the first point. So I'll select this as a first point. There is endpoint of one line. And select the second point. So I'll select this as the second point. So both point will become equal. Now what happens is if I move this line, it will move, but it will not change the uh, coincident of this point, right? So that is constraint. And you can see this show all constraint. So this blue color you can see it is a constraint. Okay, so that is how it is shown. Is this clear to everybody? Yes or no? Quickly answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are around 12 constraints. So one is coincident, second one is collinear. So if I keep this object and select the second object, both becomes in one line. So you can see the constraint symbol is also there and there, and you can delete it also afterwards if you want. That constraint can, but both will become in one line. Okay, so that is constraint. Linear constraint, then concentric constraint. So when I say concentric constraint, select first circle, select the second circle, both the centers will become equal. And the another thing is, first, if you select first circle bigger one, it will not move. But the second circle that you will select or second object you will select will be moving every time. In line also, first object selection will not move, second object will always move. So this becomes constraint now. Okay, so now this two center will never change. If I move this object, both the center circles will move together. So this is constraint. And then lock. Lock means locking in the place. Now this object cannot be moved by move command. So that is lock. We will try this different object. Then this becomes parallel. So if I select this object, select the second object, both becomes parallel to each other. Second object will move. Okay, that is parallel. Then just a minute. Oh, sorry for the disturbance. There was one student. Okay, so this is parallel, then this is perpendicular constraint. If I select this line, if I select this line, second line, both the lines, sorry, the constraint was not acting. So perpendicular, this line, select this object as the first object, select the second object, both becomes perpendicular to each other. Of course, they may not contact each other, but they are perpendicular to each other, right? So that is perpendicular. Then there are two other constraints, horizontal and vertical. So this is horizontal. If I select this line, it becomes horizontal. And if I select this constant as vertical, then it will become vertical. So that is how you can have horizontal. That means horizontal line cannot be moved or change the angle. That's it. Now tangent constraint. So if I select the first object, so this is circle, that is first object, this is line, that is second object, so they become tangent to each other. So tangent circle is tangent constraint is there. Then this is smooth. Smooth is related to the spline, so we will not discuss. Symmetric we will discuss. Symmetric means two objects are symmetric to a particular line. So select the first object. So I will select this first object. This is a first object, small line circle. Now select the second object. So this will be second object. So change will be made in second object. Now select the symmetry line. So if I select this line, the distance between this circle and smaller circle and this line will be same as bigger circle and this line, and the bigger circle becomes equal to smaller circle. See the change. I'll select the symmetry line. Have you seen the change now? Yes or no? Quickly say, please.
Yes, sir.
So this is how the symmetry constraints. So these are all 12 geometric constraints that are applied. Now we'll learn about the. Okay, let me rub these things. Suppose this is rectangle. Now go to parametric. Now there are 6-dimensional, linear, horizontal, vertical, align. These are 3 linear, radius, diameter, and angle. So you know there are 6 types of dimensions that are given. So let us give horizontal constraint. So select the first point, select the second point, and what is that? 143. You can change it to some value. Suppose I want to make it 200. It will become. See, it is. What is happening? It is getting deformed, right? It is getting deformed. So before doing this, I have to set constraints such that this rectangle does not get deformed. Even if I select this rectangle without invoking any command and move the blue grips, it will deform. So this should not happen. A rectangle should not deform if I change the dimensions or move or modify the objects. So first you give the geometrical constraint that this line should always be horizontal, right? So give horizontal constraint that this line is horizontal. Again, bottom line should be horizontal. And then two left side vertical lines and right side vertical lines should be vertical. So give vertical constraints. So the 4 constraints are given. Now if I select this object and if I move, it will change its dimensions or movement, but it will never change its shape. The shape will remain same. Now if I give dimensions, geometrical constraints, horizontal, so it is 180. So I become, suppose 200. So it does not change the deform because both the lines have become 200. Similarly, if I give vertical constraint, now this is D2 constraint. Automatically the name will be given 150. Okay, so now this has constraint that 150 means you cannot change the size of the vertical line and you cannot change the size of the horizontal line, right? So that is about the dimension. Similarly, you can change the give the constraint to the diameter, angle, or radius. Is it clear to everybody? Yes or no? Quickly answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Lastly, I will discuss about the parametric manager, right? Now, what is parametric? When you click on parametric manager, there are table opening, and there are two parameters D1, D2 that is already defined, right? And its value 200 and 150 is already there. Now, I want that D1 should be 2 times the D2. So D1, double click on it, D2 and its value, and write down it's equal to D1 multiplied by 2. Suppose I want that D1 should be, D2 should be 2 times the D1. That means if D1 is 200, D2 becomes 400. So that is how you can see it has changed. Right, so it is 2 times the D2. So D2 is 2 times the D1. You can see the constraint. So if I change our constraint over here, instead of 200, if I make it 100, automatically D1, D2 will be 200. So the ratio remains the same. So that also is known as parameter. Using parametric manager, you can carry out this parameters constraints. Is it clear to you, everybody? Yes or no? So now you have to draw this. So the various constraints are there: pi d, w, t. T is equal to w by 3, d is equal to d capital D by 6, w is equal to d capital D by 4. So you have to draw and give the constraints. Is it clear to you? Yes or no? What you have to do as a part of 5C exercise? Is it okay? Please say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
So I've discussed all this 5A, 5B, 5C and 4B exercise. You have to complete this exercise. So next time I will give you the chance to do the practice also, and I will be there also so that you can complete all the exercise in the laboratory. Okay. If you don't have the doubt or difficulty, we can leave now.
Attendance है कोई?
Yes, attendance is already recorded in WebEx now. So don't worry about the attendance.
Sir, I am Aditya Maheshwari 2108-001 and मैं वो है उसमें I am the calling user 2.
Okay, it's okay. You can inform me afterwards. Okay.
And sir, the user 3 is roll number 22, Kenil Shah.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Sir, we are offline present.
अरे बोल दो. Yes, sir, we came offline, but you cancelled. Sad.
Yeah, sir, don't worry about the attendance. I will give the attendance because already offline class was called because of lab engagement. I was not able to conduct offline, and that's why.
Sir, I'm Rohan Gautam,